Hey guys, what's going on? Excoundrel here, and today I had a really good day of Rivals. I actually got to very close to 8,800 trophies, which is really huge for me. I'm looking to get the 9,000 barrier by season reset, which is in 3 days, 11 hours. So if I can get to 9,000 before the season reset, I'm going to be really happy. I don't know if this is the total global reset, but I know that we in Tiberium League are getting shifted down a little bit. I think it's just the Tiberium League reset on the leaderboard and stuff, but had a really good day of Rivals today, had a hugely positive win ratio. But I want to talk about a game in particular that I played today that I thought would be really interesting to re-watch, and this game here versus Zarkos. Zarkos is a player that is quite well known on the leaderboard, very good player, very micro-intensive, and I've lost to him a fair few times on my Tiberium League climb. I want to show you this particular game though, because as a strategy that I want to talk about, and I think it's something that will help a lot of you understand when and where this strategy can be applicable. Because it is a very risky strategy that he went for, and loads of you will recognise this. Some of you might have even performed this strategy yourself, and it's going to be immediately obvious what I'm talking about. Yes. It is the the attack bike Tiberium Harvester Rush, which you often will find going in from gold and above. People like to open with attack bikes, run at the enemy harvester, and try and take it ASAP. Well, for those of you wondering why I sometimes have an iPad overlay and sometimes have this overlay here, which is a 1080, I do most of my replay analysis on emulator because it's much easier to fit into a 1080 screen. I actually play all of my Rivals on my iPad, which has got a green background apparently, so it's gone completely see-through. Oh, wonder how... Oh no, you can't do it like that. I've just realised. I thought I was going to do a magic trick. Yeah, so I play Rivals on my iPad Pro. Do most of my playing on here because I'm just not very good at using PC RTS. I'm really bad with mouse and keyboard, it's just not my thing. But I do most of my replay analysis on emulator because it's much easier for pausing and much easier for the way that the actual replay looks. I can get it into a 1080 screen, whereas the iPad is 4:3, so you actually end up getting an overlay which looks like this, which is my Pepe overlay. So if I'm playing, which you see in my Brawl Stars videos, I play on iPad, and this is what the iPad overlay looks like. It's not very nice, and I think I just prefer to do it like this with an emulator. So let's talk about the actual strategy here. He has gone really aggressive, double bike opening, and this is something that is good in certain scenarios. Now, this strategy is good, for instance, if you know that the enemy is going to open double harvester. You have to be darn sure in your mind that the enemy is going to open double harvester, or they intend to open something that is not very good versus vehicles, and you can get away with spamming those attack bikes. It is a strategy that can work, especially in the lower levels. This is a strategy that a lot of people won't know how to deal with. And honestly, for me, I always get a little bit confused when I see this in Tiberium League, because so many people open single harvester defensive start like laser troopers or missile troopers that I very rarely find an opportunity where going for the attack bike rush actually works. However, he did it, and I also did open the defensive start, which is the laser trooper start, and with equal levels on our attack bikes and laser troopers, I actually get some significant work done. So I started doing a couple of things here, and you're going to notice the way that I move my troops around is very important. I move my troops down here to block off an easy access to my harvester. If I hadn't moved my troops, that would have been 2 attack bike squads attacking already. I'm then going to use my other laser squad to pincer in and try and block this attack bike squad that you can see on the bottom left of my harvester. So it's going to leave it nowhere to go. Now he's very committed, very committed to getting my harvester here, and I'm going to do the same thing with my laser squads. Going to pincer it in once more and try and make it very difficult for that attack bike squad to actually get the kill easily, or even just move around the harvester, which is something that you see a lot of attack bike squads do. So I've just seen him spend 90 Tiberium on 3 attack bike squads, and as you can see on the screen, he's got another attack bike squad coming. That is 120 Tiberium expended for a potential 100 Tiberium gain. That is a massively... Can you guys hear that? That's my dog. It's obviously playing with some sort of toy. 1 second. All right, we're back. I think my dog's finished playing with a toy in the bathroom. It was like some sort of massive echo chamber. So he's spent 90 Tiberium, he's got 120 Tiberium spent with the 4th attack bike squad coming out for a 100 Tiberium gain. That's not worth it. Never in a million years is that worth it. He could have been charging the point, he could have been putting pressure on by getting the first missile, but instead he's literally just gifted me a free double harvester start. And the reason he's gifted me a free double harvester start is, you'll notice in a minute I pump out another harvester, is because I've just seen him spend 120 Tiberium plus the War Factory cost, which is 40. And actually, he's not got a harvester of his own. So even if he gets this one harvester, which he's now spent 150 Tiberium to try and kill, I've now got a safe double harvester start. And this is why opening bikes into a good player that plays defensive is actually very risky. For the simple fact that if you don't get that harvester on the first 2 attack bike squads, you are entering territory where you are going to be so far behind in Tiberium income that this, what is essentially a tech deck, is going to become the aggressive deck and end up taking the first 2 missiles. He actually gets the harvester here, you can see, with the final missile of the attack bike, which is kind of sad. I was hoping it would survive. But he has spent so much Tiberium to get to this point, and now has only got his first harvester out. And this attack bike squad that's coming through now, even with the addition of the flame troopers, I've already got Tech Lab, I've already got Widowmaker open, and honestly, he is so far behind in Tiberium income that he's actually very little way for him to find a way back into this game. Now, he does micro quite nicely here. Again, the Scorpion tank coming out is a really good way to deal with the Widowmaker. He's also constantly moving those flame troopers away, making it very difficult for me. So honestly, I'm not out of the woods. And actually, if he'd been charging the missile all this time, I probably would have been in a really rough position in total. However, I'm saving up for the big boy, which my deck does have. It is the Avatar. Now, he's going to continue to be aggressive as my Avatar comes out. And this is something that I was talking to a friend of mine about, and it's something that you'll notice as you go higher and higher up the leagues in Command & Conquer Rivals. So many people really want to kill your harvester rather than win the game. Do you know how you win the game? You take missiles. You don't kill enemy harvesters. If he had just literally pumped out units and contested that first platform, it would have been much harder for me to get a foothold in this game. But instead, he threw 150 Tiberium at me to get 100 Tiberium income, and then just ended up miles behind in terms of sustainability, because I now have an Avatar who, even though he's got these Scorpions running around my harvesters, which again, if he gets another harvester, you know, good for him. But I'm still mining double harvester speed right now. I've got my Avatar on the platform, and honestly, like I said, I even gave up my harvester here because I was more interested in contesting that first missile than I was actually defending my harvester, which, to be honest, when I get this next Avatar out, was a wise decision. He spent so many of his resources away from the platform that a deck that was supposed to be aggressive has now turned into a deck that is struggling versus a tech deck, which just shouldn't have happened. And I know he's like spammed Scorpions here because 3 Scorpions can actually beat out an Avatar. But to be honest, it's kind of too far too gone now. Even though he picks up another harvester kill here, he is dealing with a guy who's got a tech lab and avatars already on the field. And that means that you have to do something very special. I mean, he has to spend so many of his resources on a single harvester to actually come out competitive versus my avatars. And I even get his harvester with my Avatar there with the explosion. And so it just gives me cause to get out another one of my big tech units. And this is something that, again, I'm going back to that initial harvester rush. That initial harvester rush only works if the enemy is not going to react after their first harvester. It only works if the enemy is absolutely dumbfound set on going for a double harvester out the gates, because they'll have nothing to contest you with. Or if they open up something like shockwave troopers and you can't actually deal with the attack bikes with shockwave troopers. But if you're going double harvester, you always want to protect yourself from losing in the first 5 seconds, which is why you often go missile troopers or laser troopers. So the major lessons that I really want to take away from this game is, as you can see, he's kind of struggling to contest me and still going for my harvester. I guess at this point he might just be fulfilling bounties or something, but yeah, he was still so set on going for my harvester that honestly, I just that is the major thing that I kind of want to push towards you in this particular game mode. Don't be hell bent on going for your enemy's harvester. because the most important thing in this game is the missiles. The most important thing in this game is killing your opponent. The Harvester is great, and if you can convert that, absolutely. But if you're playing against a good player who is used to playing defensively, you are going to struggle to convert an all-out Harvester rush at the start whilst not caring for your own economy whatsoever. And as you can see, this game resulted in what was a very simple win for me from a very simple defense of my first Harvester. And again, it's something that it will work against certain players, but against a good player, that kind of rush will never work. It will work against people who don't know what they're doing, and I think at the lower levels like gold, maybe even platinum, that can be a thing. But honestly, when you get higher and higher up, opening attack bikes or opening jump jet troopers can actually be your downfall very frequently. So you always have to be very careful about making that decision. You have to be super sure that the person you're playing up against is a double Harvester opener. If not, you're going to get burnt like this guy did. Anyway, I hope that was useful. I'll see you soon.